I'm John Tuckinen. I'm General Manager at JRS Manufacturing. We do many types of functions in the organization, from product design to fabrication to painting to electrical assembly, and that makes a very complicated environment. So if you're going to try to solve a problem that touches on each of those facets, you need a process to break it down.
Structured problem solving is really following a standardized methodology that allows you to go through a process and identify, first of all, where a problem occurs, and then why it occurs and how it occurs. And we'll move the discussion into how do we add value to the company or organization, and also do we add value to the customer, which is most important. There are various methods of problem solving. The one we used today was the A3 9-step approach. You know, they're all effective and they all have their place. I prefer the A3 method because I think it's the most well-rounded method, and really it's the foundation for a team to communicate where they've come from and where they're going. Okay, so the background of the problem is really where we define the problem in a real-life scenario, in real terms that people understand, that help us to get all on the same page.
They did a shortcut.
Shortcuts are taken,
Yeah,
and at the cost of the next guy down the line.
The second step, clarifying the problem, is really understanding the process in enough detail that we can zero in and really find out where the problem actually lies. Number one rule in problem solving is you need to go to Gemba. Gemba, for those of you who may not know, is go to where the truth is found. You have to go to where the rubber hits the road, where the action is, however you want to define it. It's to go see. And each of your teams, I'd like the notes taker to take a notepad and their pencil and write the process steps as you see them, as you follow the process from beginning to end. Observe the process a little bit, talk to the welder, talk to the operator, see what some of their issues are.
Okay, and just with the hand scraper, that'll all come off?
It's mostly around your welds and everything. That's where we concentrate the most.
Breaking down the problem is looking at the overall process and trying to understand where the problem occurs first. Once we've figured that out, then we get into how it's occurred. Today we're going to use our value stream map to help us identify the points in the process that we feel contribute mostly to the gap. When we set the target, what we're looking for is to try to anticipate the improvements we'll make in the business and capture them in a measurable way. So put some numbers against what we'd expect an outcome to be.
As you're reviewing the current state, was there any opportunities that you found where you could eliminate paper and move to an electronic document?
Some targets we may set could relate to reduction in costs, or improvement in efficiencies, or reduction in waste overall.
To me, moving a unit, I don't want to pay for that. I don't think it's necessary at all.
Analyzing the root is where we look at each issue that we've brainstormed so far, and we continue to break it down by asking why 5 times until we can't ask anymore. It doesn't go any further, and we consider that to be the root cause. Maybe you need to ask 5 or 6 or 7.
Ask why as many times as necessary.
Yeah. While analyzing the root causes, we can use another tool called a fishbone diagram, or an Ishikawa, which really breaks down our issues into 4 categories, or sometimes 5, which would be manpower, machines, methods, materials, and we also look at environment. It will solve that problem once and for all, forever, for that reason. Developing solutions is taking the root cause and, as a team, coming up with ideas that would eliminate that root cause from happening again.
So we're going to take our brainstorm solutions and we're going to throw them up on the value graph.
The value graph is a tool we use to prioritize solutions in 4 different categories based on effort and value to the organization or customer. As we develop solutions, we can plug them into a feasibility chart, and the chart's going to help us capture the effect, the cost, and ease. It helps us prioritize them and know which ones work best for us. The implementation phase is when we take the solutions and we put them into an action plan. The action plan will then include owners for accountability, timelines to make sure we get them done, and some more details so we don't forget anything. The evaluation phase, or the evaluate phase, is when we get together as a team after all the implementation's been complete, and we ask ourselves, how do we do?
What was the most difficult or biggest challenge you had today in your whole day of from beginning to end?
as a team, we'll sit down and we'll say, how do we do in terms of a team? Do we behave well as a team? How do we do individually? Are you happy with your performance? And what can we do better next time? How do you feel about your personal performance? Are you happy with that? Did you learn something?
A lot in prep this time. I actually have somewhat of appreciation now of what they have to go through.
We also ask ourselves, what was the value, the outcome to the company and ultimately to the customer, which is most important? Well, standardization is really the key and the backbone to problem solving. So once we've gone through a problem solving event and we've done our evaluation, we say this is it, this is the way we want the new standard to be, we share it with everybody in order to make sure that it's repeatable and it's sustainable. And that's really the A3 process in a nutshell. I feel that structured problem solving in any organization is essential because organizations have always had problems and they'll continue to have problems.
Well, there's a couple things. If you're not using a formalized process, then what is it you're doing? And if you can't put your finger on what it is you're doing, then it's probably time to reflect that you need a more deliberate approach.
Over time, it'll get easier and easier until you're solving problems all the time. And that's what makes the difference between a good business and a great business.